Good morning, you wonderful people, especially, but not exclusively, the wonderful people of Stowmarket. I'm going to mention you in a minute, but today I'm going on a walk. I don't know how long it is. I think it's probably longer than I could probably do comfortably. I've not researched it properly. I know roughly where the route goes, having looked at Google Maps, but who knows what's going to happen, how far we'll get. So without further ado, let's get into the walk. So this morning I'm attempting a circular route. I don't know the distance of it yet, but we'll find out. Round to Shelland Woods and Shelland Church. You know, I've lived here for 30 years, and this drain here never really works. And how am I supposed to film a YouTube when I could get drowned every time a lorry comes past? God is reversing now. It's coming to get me. Okay, maybe safe. Oh God, there's a car coming, gonna drown. And seriously, can't you get at the cause of why it doesn't drain there? Why the drain is always blocked? And sort it out. So one of the things I wanted to say at the beginning of this video was just how thankful I am and how wonderful the people of Stowmarket are. I mean, bearing in mind I'm not proper Suffolk, I wasn't born here, and living here for 30 odd years, as any true Suffolk person would tell you, doesn't make you Suffolk. You have to be born in Suffolk to be Suffolk. But yeah, the people of Stowmarket have been so kind of complimentary to my little YouTube channel, Walks and Wonders. The little bits of history I've researched and found out and made videos about. And it's not every time I go into town, but quite often when I walk into town, you know, just going to Asda, people sort of stop me and say, oh, you're the guy off YouTube makes the videos about Stowmarket. I do make videos about other places. If you look at the channel, everywhere from Exeter to Scotland, possibly even further south, I don't know. But obviously, and it came about through lockdown, when we weren't allowed to travel. A lot of my walks were based in Stowmarket, and so there's a lot of videos about Stowmarket on the channel. Is that lens steaming up? It was just a little bit of moisture behind the lens filter. Yes, I had an accident the other day. I was filming a video in Felixstowe for my other channel, Dornegan.life, which is about health, healing and well-being, and the video was about why I don't drink caffeine anymore. I haven't drank caffeine for 8 years. I was just doing the little bit at the end. I walk away from the camera and a gust of wind came, and I had the little tripod thing stood on concrete. A gust of wind came, blew the camera over and smashed the... Fortunately it was just the lens cover and not the lens. I managed to get a replacement from good old Amazon, obviously, and we're back in business, I think, hopefully. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, wonderful people of Stowmarket. Just been so kind about the channel, I really appreciate that. Certainly in terms of the knowledge about the history, there are many more informed people than me, and had a lot of help with the history. Obviously you can do your own research, but had a lot of help with Steve Williams from the local history group, who was an absolute encyclopedia, and as those of you know him will know, he passed away a year or so back. Big loss to the town. A lot of knowledge about the town gone there. I've also had a lot of help from the local history group. Darren and Hannah Salmon helped me with the gun cotton explosion video, so really appreciate all that. It always surprised me that the people that, I mean, it's not a huge YouTube channel by YouTube standards, but it's always surprised me the number of people that do watch this channel when it's just little old me going for a walk, either banging on about a bit of local history or doing a sort of guided walk. Today, probably not going to do either. If you want to do this walk, I will I leave a map? You'll probably be able, if you watch the video, you'll probably be able to work out the route, but I just want to sort of chat about other stuff really. So last summer, I think it was, or yeah, I think last summer, I was just walking down to Asda, and there was a couple with their little kiddies sat on the benches outside Asda and asked me if I was making a video. So I said, well, I'm just going to Asda really. I don't think anyone would watch a video about that. And they just smiled and said, we probably would. We watch all your videos. So I don't think there'll be a video about me going to Asda anytime soon, but you never know. Then there's it's a lady from Singapore who's married to a Stowmarket man, and she sort of flits at the moment between Singapore and Stowmarket. She was telling me that she kind of likes the videos because even when she's on the bit of a sort of month when she's in Singapore, she can kind of watch videos of Stowmarket. And she told me she was born in the Philippines, so we had quite a good conversation, quite a long conversation, because I've actually been to the Philippines on 2 occasions, in 93 and 95. And then there's just other people I know on the last video, and forgive me, I'm hopeless with names, you have told me your name. There's a guy on the mobility scooter who I sometimes meet in Asda or near Asda, and he really appreciates the walks, he said, so that's so encouraging to know. And I think he said in the last comment on the last video that hoped I'd be able to get out more now the weather's improving, and here we are. And we like sort of coming on the walk virtually, so forgive me, I'm hopeless with anybody's name, but you know who you are. And just lots of other people who've just said for all sorts of reasons they've appreciated the video. And my new friend Paul, who grew up here, then moved to Cornwall, and then was thinking of moving back to Stowmarket when he found the channel, and him and his wife sort of enjoyed watching Stowmarket on YouTube. Just generally lots of other people, and some people have sort of said they, on these longer walks, they try and follow the route and do a family walk at the weekend. So if you found this channel useful, that's an added bonus. Really began with as therapy for me. I may have shared this in a video before, so forgive me if I repeat myself. Yeah, in 2016 my closest friend died. He's about 8 years younger than me, so definitely not expected. And he was the guy really that kept me sane. Sorry about the traffic noise here. We will very soon be out in more remote areas in the countryside. Yeah, my best mate died in 2016. It really kind of knocked me sideways, partly because it dragged up a lot of grief from the past I thought I dealt with, but actually I hadn't. And yeah, maybe I'll talk about that in another video. So this YouTube channel started really as a sort of therapy. Someone I was speaking to about all that stuff just commented that I kind of was running a charity. I still am, it's sort of winding down, but still running a charity that helps people in Africa, in different sort of Central and Eastern African countries, and helping people in poverty here as well. And we help people struggling with addictions, so helping a lot of people, and obviously trying to be a good dad. So you know, when the daughters needed help, and then trying to be a good husband to my wife. So yeah, the person I was chatting to about all this in the middle of all this sort of grief trauma just asked the question, what do you do for yourself? I found that a profound question, and when she asked that, I found I couldn't answer her, because every answer I tried to come up with, if you sort of pushed on it a little bit, was actually helping someone else. I had a little think for a couple of weeks, thinking what could I do as part of a sort of healing process. What could I do that's just for me? And I remembered I used to kind of make cine films back in the 70s, so I thought I'd have a go at making some videos in the new technology. I've loved the cinema since I was little. I think it was definitely went to see Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs when I was little. Don't remember much about that. I think it was going to see the Walt Disney Pinocchio back in the 60s at the local cinema, the Pavilion in Newton Heath, where I lived in Manchester. That's what really fascinated me about the cinema. I remember sitting in the cinema, seeing like the lights coming out of the projector window at the back, and then looking at the image on the screen. Obviously, as a little kid, following the story of Pinocchio, I just became fascinated with the whole process of how films were made. And so when I started going to work after school and earning a bit of money, not very much, £7 a week, eventually I sort of saved up and bought a little cine camera. I have got the one remaining film that I filmed on the Norfolk Broads sometime later. I've got that on the channel if you want to look at that, and that's like the real cine film from the time. And so really I was just thinking, what am I going to make films about? Not sure I've got the patience or the skill to write a script or a screenplay or anything. And was watching a lot of YouTube anyway, because I was kind of researching about camper vans, and it's before we had a camper van, and I watched a lot of videos about camping in your car, videos about having a little van, videos about having a big motorhome. It just struck me that all these channels on YouTube, just people, some with training in video but most of them not, are just sort of telling their story to a wider audience. So in our family, certainly my wife and I, tend to do a little hike most weekends, and sometimes like the whole family came, and so I thought, well, there's just something I could make a little video about. So that's where the name Walks and Wanders came from, and I just started. You look at the first few, I mean, I just cringe now, but it was just enjoying the process really. We've now come to Nary's Garden Centre, and I'm quite hesitant today whether I'm going to do this walk, because I know it's going to be longer than I really want. So that's really the point of no return. The garden centre has a coffee shop. You could just forget the whole thing, go and have a coffee and go back home and not tell anyone I was going to make a video. Nobody would know. But unfortunately for you guys, I have decided to go for it and carry on. So we're getting away from the traffic a little bit now. This is the old A14. They've kind of moved it across a little bit. In fact, this was the old A14 even when the previous A14 was there, or it would have been the A45 back in the day. So if you're following this with the intent of doing this walk, I don't know where we're going to end up, because I've never done this walk, so there's a high chance I could get lost. My intention, if you're local and you want to do this walk, walking along the side of the A14 towards Bury St Edmunds for a little bit, and then crossing the old A14 to Gallows Hill picnic site. Turn right near the picnic site. I've never been down before, and I'm convinced it leads to Shelland Woods, which I'd never heard of till last week. And you carry on past there, bring you to Shelland Church, which is a little church in the middle of nowhere, and then I think there's a footpath brings me back towards one house, and then back into Stowmarket. Just coming up to Tot Hill and spotted a sign for Woolpit Steam Fair, which we always used to go to, 3rd and 4th of June. That could make a good video. Not sure what I'm doing that weekend. Have to have a look. Have a steamy video. Just slightly away from the traffic now, and already you can hear bird song. We're only like just over 1.5 miles into the walk, and I'm glad I came out. This is why I have to keep telling myself that quite often when I think of doing something like this, everything inside my head, everything comes against it. It's like, do I want to film? Have I got enough batteries? Enough space on the SD card? Have I prepared this, that? Have I got second camera? Blah blah blah. And then added to that, if anyone else is around and starts asking me stuff just before I set off on a walk, or somebody phones, just for me it just kills the whole let's be creative thing. Just need to begin in silence and get out the door in silence and get a little bit into the walk in silence. And to be honest, that's just on a normal day, but right now with like trying to move house, and I'm trying to set up a new job to replace the job that's ending, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and then there's all your other stuff that goes on in your life as well. So yeah, am I a little bit stressed? I think I am, but I am so glad I came out on a walk. And that's one recommendation for good mental health. Just get out the door every day. You don't need to film it like this, but if you're kind of trapped in your head in the sort of fight or flight scenario, feeling stressed and anxious, or even in the frozen scenario, which is what I tend to go into, I just can't make a decision. Yeah, if you're in that sort of headspace, just commit to half an hour a day, or better still an hour. Just go for a walk, and if you can, out into the countryside. And if you're a cyclist, we're now coming on, well, I think we've been on for a while, on the cycle path at Stowmarket. And again, this was part of the old A14 before it was kind of moved over there half a mile. And yeah, I mean, you've got a good, I mean, a bit bumpy up until this point, but got a reasonable sort of cycle lane here. Just have to watch for idiots with selfie sticks with cameras on the end getting in your way if you're cycling. And there's a video I could make. I've actually bought last year I've actually bought an e-bike, so electric assist, so you have to pedal, but when you pedal you get sort of assistance from an electric motor, and it's a great little bike. Just lately I've been trying to walk more, so I used to use the bike for sort of going into town and stuff, because I want to keep hips and knees and joints moving. I've just been walking, doing that walking rather than on a bike. Now I'm walking down the cycle path. I think I could do a little video. How straightforward it will be to video while I'm cycling. That's another matter. But yeah, it could be a good little video. Bike rides and wanders. Walks and bike rides. Bike wanders and walking, biking and wanders. Yeah, I'm not changing the name of the channel. To say, I probably didn't need this coat on today. That's a couple of days. It's been, yeah, looks like blue skies, but it's been a cold breeze, and there is a breeze, but it's not a cold one. The problem is I kind of need something to put all the gadgets and stuff, like I've got the phone tracking the route, and I've got a second camera that I use for close-ups and stuff, and as well as sort of keys and everything. Yeah, if I put all that in my trousers, just lose my trousers, and it's not that sort of show. This is a family show. We keep our trousers on here, thank you very much. But I think I'm going to have to take my coat off in a minute. It's just too hot and unnecessary. Well, I've just had a wonderful 5-minute chat to these 3 people here who've, I mean, they walk a fair old distance. Yeah, I was just chatting about, so told them a bit about the channel and the history and that, and the ladies were born here, so yeah, just telling me some stories of you know, the war and when the bomb dropped on the Congregational Church and stuff. But yeah, we had a right old chinwag there, delightful, and yeah, some more stories. I don't think they'd have wanted me to video it, but it would have been good if I could, because the 2 ladies in particular have got memories of living in Station Road during the war. Should have asked if I could go and film them. Anyway, making slow progress, but I've got all day. There's no rush. I think that's one of my problems. I tend to rush a walk because that's something to be got through. But just try and learn from others who are better at walking, that just be present here in the moment. In part, me is irritated that I can still hear the traffic behind these hedges. I really want to get out into the sort of open farmland a bit, but we shall carry on and go steady. I do think though that by the time I get to we cross the road at Gallows Hill picnic site or whatever it's called, I do think there'll be time for a brew and some snacks, and then we'll see if we can make it up to Shelland. The more I think about this walk, the more I'm thinking this is going to be the longest walk I've done in many months. So whether I'll be able to walk tomorrow or not, I don't know. But we'll just take it steady. I think we've got sufficient snacks and drinks. Not sure I've got anyone I can phone today if I get stuck, because which I have done in the past occasionally. But yeah, Mrs. E is up in Manchester driving back today. There's no point phoning her if I get stuck somewhere and want a lift. And then I think both daughters are busy working with their jobs, so we shall see. But there's no reason I should struggle. My problem is if I come out and I haven't got sort of water and drinks and snacks, I get dehydrated. I go downhill very quick. Getting that great smell here now of damp woodland. Absolutely love that. Yeah, sort of forest and woodland. Kind of, I guess it's damp earth in the shade. Supposed to be good for you, forest bathing and all that, according to the Japanese. So we emerge here at the Hawley Junction. It's a while since I've been. Let's try and not get myself killed on the road. Do you turn here? Yes, I think so. So this isn't the A14 anymore, but the cars do come down here about 60 miles an hour, so you got to keep your wits about you. Not really thought of pedestrians crossing here very much. Anyway, I've got across there without dying. Oh yeah, could have. Yeah, might be safer to come through that little bit there. I think that's how they've designed it. And then immediately, or almost immediately here, we take a left up whatever road this is. This goes up to Harlesden, but we're going to take a slight detour. But first, I think it's time for snackage in the picnic area. If we can get a table. Yeah, picnic areas almost immediately when you turn the corner. Not been before. Probably all a bit backlit there. We've got a group of play school kids up that way and they come past, but we're going to have a cup of coffee, decaf, because I don't do caffeine. I think I said before, gave up caffeine 8 years ago. It's been 9 years ago now. And feel better for it. And I bought a couple of eggs. Very good if you want a bit of protein, but like ideal snack, unless you're vegan. Apologies to the vegans. But yeah, for those of us who are not, ideal snack. I have to say, although this picnic table is right next to the A14 for some bizarre reason, I'm actually finding it really relaxing sitting here. Got that sort of, spoke about before, that kind of musty smell of woodland. I'm a little bit in the shade, so there's a nice breeze cooling me down a bit. I can hear the bird song over the traffic, even though the traffic's just there. It's quite loud. Just being still, even here near the traffic, it's really calming, and you're in all the green as well. I'm just coming out of the picnic area now, and we're going to turn left, continuing on the road that goes up to Harlesden. But once we get under the A14 bridge here, which you'll see in a moment, yeah, that bridge there is the A14, and from memory, and just looking on the map, and I can see a footpath sign, just the other side of that there's a footpath off to the right, and I'm hoping that that heads to Shelland, past Shelland Wood, which I didn't know existed, and Shelland Church. So just crossing the road here, and there's sloping steps. It looks like the steps are shut off because the wooden steps have gone rotten. So we'll zigzag up the slope, and what I'm wanting is that the top of here, the footpath goes that way. So if that is the case, we're good to go. I think we're on the right footpath. Otherwise, it's going to be one of how to get lost with Egan. Already looking dubious. Oh, there's a footpath. Right. So it's crops at the moment, but it's clearly a footpath across there. And that would match with the map. So when I come down a new footpath that I'm not familiar with, and add it quite in winter, if the field's been ploughed and the regular walkers haven't been, I've got no idea. This is fairly clear, I think. And there's a little yellow footpath sign straight ahead, while the grass is quite deep. Appears to go into the woodland. Oh yes, yeah, much clearer once you're in the woods. Well, this is great, isn't it? I've never been down this one before. Obviously an orchard or something. Certainly the trees are all planted in lines. So I guess we just follow where the footpath seems to be. Oh, the sun's out. Now I'm thinking of taking my coat off again. It went a bit cold while I was having a coffee. Oh, this is marvellous. I do like walking among the trees. Something very relaxing. And of course now, when I think back to this morning at breakfast, I was really struggling with myself, thinking, oh, when I sort all the camera equipment out and find something for lunch, and then go on a walk and I'm not sure where I'm going, sort of negative ninny in my head. And but now, I mean, literally, even if I just turned back and went the way I've come, it would be a really good walk. But we're not going to do that. We're going to see how far we can get. I've just had a phone call, which gives me more confidence to press on. Had a phone conversation with the eldest daughter, so she's phoning about something else, but she just said she's available if I do my thing of just collapsing. I didn't quite collapse on a walk, but we did a walk up to Great Finborough once. I kind of rushed it a little bit, just doing a morning walk, and it's quite a way actually, and for some reason we just didn't take any water or snacks, and suddenly it was like someone had just unplugged me out of the mains and just lost all power. I was really concerned about it. But as it turns out, I did get checked out, by the way. But as it turns out, it's called dehydration. And I always think I'll feel really thirsty before we get to that point. But I don't always. So I'll make sure on these walks to stop for water and stuff. And actually have enough water and snacks with me. A little bridge. Looks like there's a little bridge here, and the footpath sign says go left, and straight on is all metals anyway, so we will do that. Bridge over the ditch. Yeah, just cross the ditch basically. Oops. And then we're out into this field, and I'm not sure what that wood was we just came through a little bit, but when I look on the map, if you follow this footpath, I think I've just been stung by a nettle in my shin. Yeah, on the map, if you follow this footpath, just touches the edge of Shelland Wood, and there's a footpath one of my daughters did that goes around the other side of Shelland Wood, but I'm fairly sure that would be too far for me to go. I think she said she did about 11 miles when she did that one, but I think we will not overestimate our abilities. But look at this. The big Suffolk skies. If you know this area, you'll know that lone wind turbine at Gallows Hill. You can kind of get your bearings. I don't know what they're growing, but that's all green. This is all green this side, and it's absolutely wonderful. You're out here, clearly by the way the footpath's worn. People do walk down here, but I don't think it's many people. Probably a few keen dog walkers or something. Couple of hikers maybe, but it won't surprise me if I don't see anyone on this section. Oh Lord, the battery's running out. We'll be back with a new battery after these important messages. And we're back. A bit fiddly, and I used the opportunity of stopping to disrobe because I thought it was getting overcast and chilly. That disappeared, and it's now very sunny and hot. Well, what an adventure exploring a footpath I've never been down before. In the wilds of Suffolk. What a great way to spend a day. It's great for your mind, great for your body, great for your spirit. Just wind to the left and then the right a bit. Just try to make sure I don't get lost, because I have an absolute skill getting lost, and now the footpath pretty much disappeared. I mean, there's a dip, but I think that's the edge of the crops. I don't want to... Oh, this might be the footpath. It may also be the ideal place to slip down into the ditch. As to where also, if it being so remote and probably largely undisturbed, you don't know what's kind of nesting in the long grass. I'd rather not have that sort of surprise. And through into the next field. Seems to be fairly logical. Okay, the footpath has definitely disappeared here, and there's a sort of keep dropping in a dip somewhere. It's, yeah, you can kind of see the trail, but I don't think many people have been down here lately. It's like one person's walked through the grass, just laid some of it down. Very uneven, not for the faint of heart. This is all supposing that I'm still on the actual footpath and haven't missed a turning somewhere. Or I might just randomly walking down the edge of a field. Suppose we could check the map. Ah, it's a bit clearer now. I wonder why that bit's very sketchy. This bit's very clear. I think we're alright. But I think we should probably check the map. See there? The childhood trauma is kicking in. I think this is the footpath here. That's the way we're gonna go, but the whole thing of not being sure triggers a childhood memory. Not that it wasn't particularly traumatising, but it was scary when you were little kids. So we used to live opposite Brookdale Park in Manchester. But when we started venturing further, and you get to the other side of the park on a road called Humes Road, just across the road was Bluebell Wood, so called because it had a lot of bluebells. And so now I feel like I could be in somebody's garden here. Don't think I am. But back to Bluebell Wood, yeah, which was, I think, private land. But there was a gap under the railings, and it just looked right for little boys to explore. And we found most of us could fit under the railings. We were going through, and then I was halfway through, getting a little bit stuck. And this guy's voice shout, "Oh, get out of there. Private land, I'll call the police." Sort of minor panic, and yeah, wondered what to do. Thought we were someone would come after us with a shotgun or something, but they didn't. It's just someone whose house backed onto it didn't want a load of kids causing trouble. So we're now out on this road. I didn't check the map before because I couldn't be arsed. It's in the bag. I think I'm going to have to. So I'm not sure where I am, and I can't remember if you get to the road and then go down the road, or whether you stay on the footpath. I think you stay on the footpath. Should we check? We should check. Okay, yes, when you reach this little road, might just be a track down to the farm, not sure. You just go straight across into the next field. It's extremely boggy here. Which way shall we go? It is
the Swamp of Doom.
Yeah, looking on the map, you can see the little blue dot where I'm at the crossroads of the road and the footpath there. And then follow the footpath up. There's a little thing called Hawley Bushes at one point, and then we go past that, and then further up is Shelland Wood. And if you follow it all the way up, it goes to Shelland, so I think we're on the right track. But now the footpath disappears again. Looks like it goes into the next field, but there's no sign saying that. I don't want to be in the wrong field, but it's clearly a worn path onto this side of the hedge. So we'll go with that for now. It'd be very difficult to walk on the side I was on a minute ago. Lots of little butterflies, mostly the white ones, unless they're cabbage white moths. My friend Keith will know, being a lepidoptera. Someone who knows about moths and butterflies. Lepidopterist, that's the word. Of course you got these glorious Suffolk skies here. Ancient tree here. This has seen some things, well, probably not seen a view much different than this, but yeah, with all the like a bit of disease or something that's been sorted out. Ancient trees. I think that's an oak tree. I'm not great on tree ID. I think looking at the leaves, that's, I'm fairly sure that's an oak tree. And I've stood there before the Queen was born, and possibly, I don't know, I'll be planted before the days of Queen Victoria for all I know. Hundreds of years old, a tree that size. It's these parts of the walk that slightly intimidate me and send me back to getting shouted at for going into Bluebell Wood when I was little. As one minute you're in a sort of farmer's field, so let me get round the puddles. Yeah, one minute you're in a farmer's field, and then you sort of come to someone's house. And I think we are going to have to check the footpath again. There's a footpath sign there. That's a bit faded. To check the map, see what we get to. Footpath app. Oh, this is Hawley Bushes apparently. Yeah, looks like we want to keep going straight on down here. Look at this house. Great, would it live there? Squirrel in the front lawn. Not sure you can catch that on the camera. But oh, this has been my idea of heaven. Although you've got an ancient house to maintain, that's not my idea of heaven. But yeah, I mean, it's probably an old farmhouse or something from back in the day. So at that four-way junction, we've gone straight ahead. So this is Hawley Bushes, which we knew would come near, and then we should just touch the edge of Shelland Woods up here somewhere. Find out in a minute. I just did a little self-check there, realising we'd come a bit of a way now, so let's just have a look on the app, see how far we've actually walked. Always feels longer than it actually is to me. 4 miles. Okay. Yeah, for me, I have to say sort of 4 or 5 miles, 6 at a push. It's probably enough. So this is going to be a bit longer than that, which is fine. It's always good to push yourself a little bit. Don't go mad. Don't give yourself a heart attack. And we've got all day. Just enjoy the walk. So now, say the next point for me would be Shelland Church. There's a little bench outside the church. I think we might be stopping there for a banana and a bit of chocolate and a coffee and some water. So I don't think we're far off that now. But just look at this. There is a little bit of distant traffic noise, but when I'm not talking, just a bit of bird song. Just so quiet. It's really, I think it's important to stop on a walk, something I'm not very good at. Well, I'm good at stopping. Stopping, like when you're in a place like this, nobody's about. Just be still. Listen to your own breath. Might be wheezing a bit like I am. Just be aware of breath coming in and out. That just brings you into the moment. Just brings you into the now. And meditation, what we sometimes do is a body audit. So while you stop, you can just start at your feet and go to your head. How are the feet feeling? Mine are a little bit achy at the minute. Ankles, shins, calves. How are the knees? There isn't a right or wrong answer, it's just you just bringing yourself into the moment by concentrating on now. Hips. I have to say I'm impressed that my hip can give me a bit of jip. It's, yeah, I'm aware it's there, but there's no pain so far. Then your spine, the weight of the back on your back, your shoulders, rotate them a bit, feel them. Your hands, forearms, shoulders, your neck, and the top of your head. It just kind of, yeah, I think it's called a body audit. You kind of do it when you're getting ready to meditate, and it just brings you into the now moment. It brings calm as well. But we're going to carry on, because what we don't want is, I don't want to get in dark before we finish this. It'd be so good to complete the walk without phoning the emergency services of the daughter or wife to get me back. Yeah, well, it wouldn't be the wife today, because she's on the way back from Manchester as we speak. Just the views. Especially when you're on a walk you've never done before. Everything's new, you're discovering it for the first time. Marvellous. So unsurprisingly I have gone wrong a bit here. So I came through holly bushes. We need to be over to the left a bit, so it's one of them things where I think everyone just respects the crops and goes around the field. But it looks like from that, that the footpath goes across there. But I wasn't really paying attention. And I think most farmers I know almost prefer you to go around the edge of the field when that's a worn footpath. Oh, we've got a dead pheasant. Poor thing. I don't know if a fox has had that or something. But you'd think a fox would carry it off, wouldn't you? Yeah, so sort of bore left now around the edge of the field. Let's keep an eye open, but I think what's happened is one of those where everyone just goes around the edge of the field, and so the actual footpath marked on the Ordnance Survey map gets lost. I'm just going to check the map again. I'm still, so I really want to, yeah, I think let's carry on round the edge of this field. Yeah, the footpath obviously goes straight across there, but just follow the edge of the field here, so having done that I shall carry on. Yeah, I can see a little footbridge over the ditch coming up. I think that's where we'll rejoin the actual footpath. I always think it's right to be respectful of the land, you know. This is private land, but there are footpaths that are right of way on foot, and that's what we want to explore. I don't like sort of not too mad about making your own footpaths up where there aren't any. I'd imagine when we get to this bridge we're back on the footpath. Now we've got the footpath post. Kind of says that way, but nobody's made an inroad across the crops. But on the map I've got, it looks more sort of straight across there. But if everyone's going around the edge of the field, we'll do that. What we do know now, at least, that we are on a footpath. Oh, I've lost the coffee and everything. This is fantastic. Oh, God. Hold on. Oh, yes, we lost everything there. There's a, and you come across that footbridge. It looks like to be clear footpath, but there is a hole there in the footpath that's about a foot deep, and I have now got nettle stings all down my arm, and should really check. Yeah, we lost the coffee, but I recovered that. Lost the rucksack, lost the camera. Oh, glory, glory be. Well, I didn't bring with me, because why would you? Well, a lot of people would. It's a little first aid kit, preferably with a bit of antihistamine or something for nettle stings. Now we're in the wood, and I have absolutely no real clue where the footpath goes. The clearest bit is the one I'm walking on, but oh yeah, I can see a footpath. These posts with the yellow arrows in are always helpful when you're lost. So this should be Shelland Wood, and hopefully if you come here you won't take a tumble, because I've now told you about the big hole in the footpath, and you'll enjoy it without all the nettle stings in your hands and your arm. But look at this. Yeah, this is making up for kind of throbbing in my hand and my arm now. I'm very careful normally. Well, I'm always very careful to avoid nettle stings, because I absolutely hate them. But when suddenly you're on a footpath and then there's a foot drop down on one leg and you fall into the nettles, there's not a lot of preparation you can do for that. So, still on the right track. Footpath sign there, little footbridge over the ditch, back out of the wood, and now I'm absolutely paranoid there's going to be another hole in the ground here, because I can't actually see. I'm assuming it's in this general direction. Oh, that's a little bit not what you want, but it's actually a sign there saying private land, which I wasn't sure. I thought it applied to this, but it applies to that. But there is a footpath sign just above it, so we bear right here, and then we will just check the map. I'm now paranoid. I'm completely off the track. Yeah, we are on the footpath now, and we should just go down the green dotted line which comes to Shelland Green, and the church. Hang on a minute. Shelland Green. Yeah, I think the church is that cross, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, so we're nearly at Shelland anyway. I'm thinking about the bench. Actually, I don't know if there was any audio on that last bit, because they just discovered the microphone fell out, or halfway fell out, when I took a tumble. But if there's no audio, I will put subtitles on or try and dub my voice over it. Oh, what my family will say, and to see that video of me going down there. I'll say this is called having a fall, and if it keeps happening, which is not the first time, if it keeps happening, they're going to put you in the nursing home. Well, I hope that day never comes. I don't think I'm ready for my pipe and slippers just yet. I think there's some life in the old dog. I've been falling over since I learned to walk. So it's not a common occurrence. It's mostly common on hikes and stuff. Although in the winter I did slip down the front drive and twist my ankle a little bit. But anyway, so yeah, there's several posts with a yellow sign on here, footpath sign. So we're definitely on a footpath. It's one of the things I really try hard to do on the rare occasions where I do get nettle stings is not to touch it, because your instinct is it's itchy, so you scratch it. But if you scratch it, that's gonna go further in and gonna be really irritating for longer. So I've managed not to touch it, and I think it certainly reduced the irritation. Hopefully if I keep off it, it will completely go away. So we come to the edge of the field here and find the road. Shall try, he says, falling down another hole. I shall try and not trip over this log is what I was going to say. To be honest, I don't need a log to trip me up. I am quite capable of tripping without assistance. Yeah, I think I'm fairly sure that Shelland Church is just around the bend here. And time for snacks. So here we are at Shelland Church. Might just see if the church is open. Last couple of times I've been here in videos during lockdown, so it wasn't. But thankfully a lot of these churches are accessible during the week. Marvellous. The old organ there. We've got box pews in the church here. It's a very old way of doing it. Memorial stone up there to somebody. But yes, it's a lovely little village church. Still used, I think. Have occasional services here. Looks like Jesus is made out of Playmobil in the Easter garden. But that's alright. Playmobil people are included in the gospel. Actually, it's a Playmobil person in white says probably, is that supposed to be Jesus, or is that the angel that rolled the stone away and the grave is empty? That's more of an Easter theme. But there's a lovely little bench here just by the church gate, and one is going to have one snacks. Oh, I think I may have underestimated the amount of snackage I needed. So, 2 hard-boiled eggs and a banana. To say the banana was ripe would be an understatement. It was more kind of drinking a banana than eating a banana. So now we have some water. That's not a problem. Got some coffee here, and I've got a couple of bars of chocolate. So we could only just be halfway. But I'm hoping we're further than halfway. So we'll find out, won't we? Whether we have to scramble the air ambulance or whether I make it back. I have espied a TARDIS in the churchyard, and as a man of a certain age, to see if it's open and transport myself to an empty bladder. Let's just say that's more of a nightclub for buzzy flies than a toilet facility, but the deed is done. Now we're going to go back out of the churchyard and slightly retrace our steps a little bit. If you're following this as a guided walk, because I think if we get to the road and then bear right a little bit, we get onto a footpath that should bring us out sort of, I don't know if it's Harlesden Green or but near the One House Road anyway. And once we find that, you will find the way back into town. We could dip into Northfield Woods a little bit, just see how I'm doing when we get there, or we could stay on the One House Road, go and have a look at the paupers' graves and the old workhouse. Always find that place, Paupers' Grave, is very sort of, it's a sad place obviously, but it's really quite calming. Yeah, so this is the road we came. So as I was saying before the camera fell off the thing, that's where we came out of the footpath. We went up there, went and had snacks at the church. So we come back out, but we don't go back down the road we came up. But there's this, what appears on the map to be a footpath here if we bear right, and if I can find the footpath and stay on it, it seems to bring us out onto, I don't know if it's Harlesden Green or, but it's sort of on the One House Road. I think that'll be just perfect really. Again, I mean, I've been to Shelland Church before, but I've not done the footpath that we've come up this far. I've never been down here, so I don't know what we'll find. Just had a nice chat with the guy at the church there. He's walking his dogs, and spotted the camera and asked me if I was doing YouTube, and this is the thing when you're a YouTube sensation like me. People are keen to know. Just looking at this new lens cover, I'll have to get another one. I think it's slightly cracked. I don't think you'll see it on the camera because it's just at the edge, but I think that's from yeah, when I fell down the hole into the nails. What is this? Something agricultural maybe? I doubt farmer types. Tell me what that is. I suppose really got to just look at the map and check we are going down the right footpath. Where are we? Shelland Green. Yeah, so I think the church is that cross there. So yes, at the moment we're on the footpath I thought we would be on. Amazing bluebells here. The bluebells, or my wife would tell me if she was here what they are. And the track goes round to the right to the house. The footpath, or the slightly less developed track goes down here. So I'm assuming this is the footpath, although we shouldn't assume, but I'm fairly sure this is the footpath. You can see the one just go to the house there. So it's about 4.7 miles, I think, from home to in Stowmarket to Shelland Church. So yeah, it could be sort of maybe 6 and a bit, 7 miles, 8 miles. I've done sort of 11 miles before, quite a while back now, out for the day. I'm not sure I'm up to 11 miles today though. A little bit out of practice, if I'm honest. There's just more of bird song and solitude. Marvellous. I mean, just look at that tree. How can you not be impressed with that? That's been there a long time, hasn't it? A long while. Sheep in the sheep pen. Almost like a Constable country painting. Does remind me of the movie Babe. Bar-am-you to your clan be true. Bar-am-you. Oh, now we have a fork in the path. Back here. Yeah, looking at that, we want to go on the left one, so bear left at this fork. I think the other one just goes to the hall. Is it Harston Hall? May not be, but I think it goes to that house. So we want the little left one, according to the map. Yeah, the one that's more like a footpath. The one that's more like a footpath than a driveway. Where we look at the fern again, so just come out on the footpath there. Amazon parcels coming. Yeah. Why run a channel about walking? I've got no sense of direction whatsoever. So yeah, I think, yeah, so we turn left there. My natural thinking would say turn right, and that goes to a very different place. So turn left out the footpath onto the road, and this should bring us out. Look at that, look at the beauty here. This should bring us out kind of onto the one house road eventually. We'll find out. Quad bike. That'll be a fun video, wouldn't it? I've done a bit of quad biking many years ago. Almost turned the thing over, but I didn't. Oh, so this is Harlesden Village Green. It said on the sign back there. What a nice village green it is. Nice little houses over there. These cottages over here. A great view. Presumably they can't ever build on the green. Most of them have been given by someone in the village. And this brings us out onto the end. I think this is the village of Harleston. Here we're going to bear right onto the road, the main road, and that should take us back into Stowmarket. Oh, excellent. Eurovision. Got these knitted postbox things about for the coronation, but that one's for Eurovision now. Do you watch Eurovision? I know lots of people have mad about it. I used to watch it when I was a kid, but I'm not a fan. Not a fan. It's more like the Eurovision dress competition. But I'm just a grumpy old bloke, so don't listen to me. If you enjoy Eurovision, you watch it. Just not in my house. Footpath there, so I reckon that may cut through to the road I was on before the village. Who knows? That's an explore for another day. And I now know where I am, so that's good. And there's a sharp bend here that comes into the village, and not far beyond that bend we're in the village of One House, which is just one stop from Stowmarket. Stowmarket. Yeah, that's not really a Suffolk accent, pay no attention. Look at this van here. It's a great looking van. Well, that was great. I had a lovely little chat with a couple that live on that sharp bend there, chatting about their funky LDV van, and great people. Do like van people. I'm sort of one with my little camper van, but the proper van people, fantastic. So now I'm wondering, are we gonna make it back home? I will make it back home. I'm wondering if the camera will, because it's we're on the third battery, which I notice is not fully charged. Big mistake. And then we've only got a few minutes left on the SD card. These are all technical things which I'll find a way around. So I'm gonna have to finish filming this on my phone or something. We will see. I've got the little gimbal camera, but that's kind of a bit like this. Lens isn't wide enough, so I don't like using that for talking to the camera. Anyway, so we're now heading into One House on the main road, Harleston to One House, and I think we'll be fine. Coming past the village hall now, and we have found a pavement, so we're going to walk on that just for safety. And so I'm just going to walk, I think I'll just walk through the village of Wanus, as the locals call it, not One House as it's spelled, and then might just do a little dip into the paupers' graves and then back into town, I think. Yep, so we're through One House village now, on the sharp right bend. I've come off onto this bridleway, I think it's a bridle way, but everyone uses it footpath into the scenic views of a building site. But look, if you look that way, keep the building site behind you, it's idyllic. So this has been a great day. So just all the I never want to sort of film people I meet and the conversation without their permission, so I always default to not filming it. Otherwise I think with a stranger you wouldn't have the conversation. But yeah, just met my mate Hill, who was prepping for a half marathon, I think he said. I couldn't run a bath, so I'm no use in that arena. But yeah, not seen him for a while, so it's good to have a chat with him. He's gone off running somewhere over there. So that was great. So yeah, I met the 3 people in their 80s, late 80s, near the beginning on the cycle path. I met a nice guy up at Shelland Church. Was chatting about YouTube and stuff, and asking about the channel. He had 2 little dogs with him, very cute. Had the couple with the LDV van on the corner there. Long chat with them, and a great couple seems. Yeah, had a long chat with them. Great couple. Well, we're all into vans and stuff. Theirs is very arty. I quite like the arty ones. And then I was just thinking I'll be glad to get home and then bump into my mate Hill doing his trying to get his time up for his running. So what a great day. I have no idea what time it is. I would think it's sort of 3 o'clock. We could actually look. Oh, 3:30. So I'm not sure what time I left home this morning. I think it was before 10, or about 10 if not. So that seems to be the secret of, for me anyway, doing a long walk. It's just don't rush it like I normally do. I mean, I'm certainly walking a lot slower now than I was at the beginning, which is fine. So I'm just gonna follow this path round to the right and pop into the woods over there. Locals will know is the old paupers' graves from the workhouse. The workhouse is still there. It's not a workhouse, although the way the current government's going, it may become a workhouse once again. Sorry to get a bit political there, but anyway, yeah, the old building of the workhouse is still there, and but it's private accommodation, I think. But yeah, the workhouse was there, and then there's an infirmary down this end, and then a lot of people died when there was smallpox in the area, so they're buried in the paupers' graves, and it was all forgotten about, and they all just had like a cross with a number on, some metal numbers, and then when they run out of metal numbers, just painted on. And it was very sadly all forgotten about, but thankfully some people have not only preserved it now. I think there was a school group that came up and did a little search of the area, and they found a lot of the little iron number plates for the graves, and I think some of them were taken back to school and lost, but there are still some here on a cross. And then yeah, a group, I think from one house, but from locally anyway, decided to preserve it, and I think they've got the land purchased now, so it can't be built on. So I think all these fields here are going to be houses, looking at the long-term plan. But thankfully and respectfully, the people that were in the workhouse, the area known as the paupers' graves, has been bought and kept out of respect for those who died here. while back, you know, and I discovered this old bath and saw someone putting soil in it. It's now been painted black. Just looking at that sign, it is the bath at the old infirmary where people were bathed just before they died. So this is the area known as the paupers' graves, and there's an information board here. You need to know more about it. This cross that's put up in respect, and these number plates actually off the original graves of the paupers, as who cares what name a pauper has, they're just a number in a workhouse, so they were given a number. I think it's quite sad, but I've looked at the census so you can see some of the names. And then these three crosses here, the more recent edition, indicate the lines, or the three lines where paupers were buried. And there is a couple of crosses surviving down there, or they've been put in to illustrate what it was like. Yeah, I always found this area peaceful, even though it's very sad. But interesting, they've someone was digging a ditch, it said, and they found this old bath, and this area here was where the infirmary was. So yeah, God bless them. Yeah, there's a big smallpox outbreak, and they when they died, they were just sort of stitched into the blanket they were sleeping in. There's no coffin or anything, and I don't know if there was a ceremony or a prayer or a chaplain came down or something, but and they just discreetly disposed of there. What a dreadful thing. It's that Victorian thing, isn't it? It's that Victorian thing that they made it unpleasant so nobody came. So I've just noticed on the screen there I've got exactly 2 minutes left on the SD card. So we're virtually back in Stowmarket now, so I'm going to end it here. Thanks for watching today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up on YouTube. That helps me develop and grow the channel. And also, if you're not already subscribed, please hit that red subscribe button. Hit the little bell icon and you get notifications of new videos. And I will see you in the next video. If I make it home, I think I'm going to make it home from here.